All right, we're in the zone on this one. If you are a new West Coast swing dancer and you're looking for some beginner-friendly moves, this is the video for you. My name is Brian B, and this is
Miss Megan.
And in this video, we don't want you to become what we call a
pattern junkie.
A pattern junkie or a move junkie and just learn a bunch of patterns and not dance well. But we know you need some new patterns to fill out your social dancing. We're going to give you 5 beginner-friendly ones here. So first one is a 6-count pattern. It's called the fold. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Next is an 8-count pattern called the same side whip. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Third pattern, I call it a whip pullback. We argue over the name. We'll talk about that in a second. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's going to let us change to a right-to-right handhold. Then we're going to learn the reverse whip. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then a simple one that I dance a lot socially called a 6-count paseo. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now these are very beginner friendly. They're not the most fundamental patterns of West Coast swing. We have another video called 7 patterns that you need to know for West Coast swing beyond the basics. We're going to link that up here and at the end of the video. But let's walk through these beginner-friendly patterns here. So we have the fold. It's a 6-count pattern based off of a left side pass for the leader. I have to prep a turn for 1. I prep Megan for 2. She turns around for 3 and 4. I step back in the slot behind her, and we face each other 5 and 6. So first things first, I have to prep the turn. 1, 2. Megan's going to turn around on 3 and 4. I'm going to step in a place that's comfortable for this hand, not too far away, not too close, and I'm going to slowly turn the hand over on 5 and 6. Let's talk about this hand because it's kind of a funny one. We're going to practice by just turning to our right from me to the left from Miss Megan and back. And you're going to notice this hand's going to turn over. Now when I want to turn Megan back, I don't start by turning the hand. I'll wrench her shoulder. I'm just going to turn my body and the hand's going to stay down, right? Now Miss Megan has to make sure to dance forward on count 4. Sometimes that's a little new if you're a beginner, so she's going to talk you through it.
Followers, we have walk, walk. Our triple step is a turn, but we're going to land forward. So we have a triple forward. And then we do our anchor step for a triple step.
Now there's a cool variation, we'll call this 1A, and it's a sweep off the end of it. We dance it a lot. Once we teach it to our students, it's hard for them to do the triple step, so we'll show it to you and break it down. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. So we're sweeping for 5, stepping 6, and we're back to the correct foot. So what we do for that, and this is the sweep is cool because Megan can sweep or not, I can sweep or not, doesn't change the pattern, so it's a variation that we can do within the pattern itself. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So that's pattern number 1. Pattern number 2 is a same side whip. I love this pattern. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And as you can imagine, it's called the same side whip because I stay on the same side. So I'm going to do this with my back to the camera for most of the pattern. So it starts like a basic whip where I lead 1, 2. And instead of going across the slot on count 4, I'm going to stay on the same side, hence same side whip. Very easy. 1, 2, 3, and. Everything's the same, but now instead of stepping across, I step down the slot for 5. I send her forward as I step underneath myself, put her in for count 6, anchor 7, and 8. So leaders, what I have to do with my footwork and my hands, 1, 2, 3, and 4 down the slot. I step underneath myself and move Megan forward, send her back on count 6, and anchor step. So Megan's footwork, just so we have the followers clarified.
Followers, we have a normal whip to count 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to step forward. We're going to turn over our left shoulder and then triple step. So
if we put it all together, you can count it, Miss Megan.
So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, turn 6, 7, and 8.
So we had our fold first, and this will be in a little routine for you. The same side whip second. Now we have what we call the reverse, or the whip pullback. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I like to change hands. There's 2 different versions of it, but to keep it in a routine, we're going to change hands. So this, I want to lead this like an inside turn. So this is my basic inside turn.
Whoop,
Whoop.
my bad.
That's Miss Megan back leading the reverse whip, the whip pull back. So what I want to do is lead what she thinks is an inside turn. And followers, I want you to default to the most basic pattern you know. So it's going to start, we'll go from this side, it's going to start like an inside turn. I have to communicate the difference. So we go 1, we prep 2. So normally I would spiral this up and over Megan's head, but instead I want to create a line that doesn't allow the hand to go back up over that spot to send her back, right? So once I raise this hand 1, 2 to about this level, I'm going to leave it there and follow her to her right foot before I pull her back 5, 6, 7, and 8. If we look at that quickly from the other side, I'm following her to her right foot. So I'm monitoring this side of her. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I step across the slot on 4. And then I'm going to step underneath myself for 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'll have Megan do that footwork once for you just so the followers have that.
Followers, we have our inside turn, but we're landing forward. So we have 1, 2, turning, 3, and forward for count 4. We are walking back for 5, walking back for 6, and then anchor 7 and 8.
So if we do this, there's 2 different versions you can do. You can do this and switch hands at the end, or Megan has a version where I do this and I just keep my center facing Megan the whole time. 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Both of those will work, but for the sake of this routine that we have a fold. That's the first pattern. Then we have a same side whip. That's the second pattern. Then we have a whip pullback, and I'm going to settle this argument with Ms. Megan right here on camera on why this is a whip pullback before we get to our reverse whip and the paseo. So this is why I call it a whip, is it has 8 counts. That, in my mind, makes it a whip. And number 2, I'm also stepping across the slot. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Normally in a basic whip, I would be here on 4. I'm here on 4 to pull her back, and that's why, Miss Megan, it is a whip.
It's a left side pass pattern.
It's not. So next up, we have the reverse whip, because at this point, we've changed hands, and this is one of the more fundamental patterns you'll need to know for West Coast Swing moving forward. There's tons of different variations off this. This is definitely a whip, but Megan's turning the reverse way, hence a reverse whip. So good news for the leaders, it's basic whip footwork for us, everything that you know from beginner class, but the followers have to turn a different direction.
Followers, we're going to be turning over our left shoulder. So we have forward, forward. Now we're going to turn together, step forward. This is count 4. Everything from here is exactly the same as your whip. You're going to turn, step back, triple step.
So if we do this from here, the lead is a little trickier on this one. This is probably the most advanced one in this video. 1, I have to bring this hand slightly towards me to allow her to prep. I don't want to send it too far away, and I don't want it to be across her because she needs to be prepped forward in the left foot. 1, 2. Now from here, the best way I can think about this is a straight pull diagonally across, and I'm trying to, for lack of better terminology, pull Megan into my hand, right? That's where you're trying to go. So leaders, we have 1, 2. We both maintain tension with our elbows and connection. So she turns around 3 and cool. Now I step across on 4 and we finish out the whip 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that's the reverse whip, count 4. If we put that all together and then we'll add the paseo. We have your whip, your fold, boom. Then we have same side whip. Then we have the whip pullback, whip all day long, Miss Megan. Changing the hands. Then we have the reverse whip. We agree this is a whip. And then this is the next pattern, the 6 count paseo, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So that's really easy to lead. It's a 6 count pattern. Again, there's tons of variations to these, but these are the easy versions. So we walk 1, 2, and I tend to set the hand a little bit this way with my body so we can open up 3 and 4. And if we're thinking basic, as we turn back to each other, we anchor step. So if we do that one more time, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, anchor step. All right, so I said there's 7 patterns that you have to know for West Coast Swing beyond the basics. You can get those in this video here. These are gonna set you up to be able to social dance anywhere in the world. And if you want more videos, we have our online membership over on our website. You can try for 14 days here. We have over 1,000 videos. Everything's broken out by level: beginner, intermediate, advanced, pro level moves. So you'll know exactly what patterns to learn next depending upon the level you are. Love you guys. We'll see you on the dance floor.